Hello everyone, welcome to my class. We are going to flow through some poses. However, there are no vinyasas in today's class and no forward folds. So go ahead and find a comfortable seat. We will get started in a crisscross sukhasana. I am sitting on a blanket to lift up my seat a little bit. It allows my knees to settle down. And then slowly close down the eyes. Take a moment to stack your spine. Allowing the knees to get heavy, settling towards the ground. Nice open chest. Shoulders soften away from the ears. Find that lift at the back of the neck. As we settle into our sukhasana, let's begin to deepen our breath. Begin to lengthen our inhales and exhales. Becoming aware of the space of the body. How is the body feeling? The kind of thoughts popping up in this moment. Acknowledging whatever we find. Bringing our attention back to the breath. On the next inhale, lift the arms up towards the sky. Let the palms touch. Exhale, hands in front of our heart. Pause. We'll start our practice with any intention that comes to mind. And slowly releasing the hands, blink the eyes open. We place our hands on our knees. We'll start with some baby cat and cows. So inhale, move the heart forward. And exhale, round the spine, tuck the chin. Keep flowing. Inhale, belly forward, chest forward, elbows draw back. Maybe we lift the gaze. On the exhale, round the spine. Let the head drop. Few more like that. I'm gonna face this way so that you can see me. Inhale forward, exhale round. You add the arms down. Inhale, open the chest, open the arms. Exhale, round the spine. Let the fingers tap. Two more. Inhale, nice big open front body, squeezing the back, shoulder blades. Exhale, we round the spine, take the stretch in the back body, and then come back to neutral spine. We'll take a twist, so left hand outside the right leg, right hand at the base of the spine. Turn the chest, keep the hips nice and neutral. Inhale, find length in your spine, and exhale, twist. We only look back if the neck allows. Really leveraging that left hand grip outside the right leg to help you twist here. Big deep breaths. One more. Staying in the twist, so the left hand stays, right arm reaches up. From the twist, we'll take a side bend. Feels funny. So you continue to turn the chest to the right while side bending to the left. Really finding length in the right side body. One more breath. And then slowly lower the right hand down, unwind. We'll take the twist on the other side. Right hand hooks outside the left leg this time. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. Nice deep breaths. And anytime it feels good to close down the eyes, especially in these holds, go ahead and do that. On the next breath, reach the left arm up, this time side bending to the right side and twisting. One more breath. And release. All right, we'll come into a tabletop position. So if you are sitting on a block, move it to the side. If you need cushion for the knees, you can always slide the blanket under your knees. I have a pretty thick mat here. It gives me nice support for my knees. All right. Let's curl the toes, knees under the hips, wrist under the shoulders. Have a micro bend in the elbows here. Spread the fingers wide. Nice and flat back here. So we are neither arching nor rounding in our low spine. Shift the weight into your right leg. Left leg extends back. Point the toes, close the hip. And then if it feels okay, add the opposite arm, the right arm in this case. Inhale here, exhale, bring your right elbow towards your right ribs and left knee towards your left elbow. So it's a little different than our elbow to knee. Inhale, extend, exhale, crunch. Inhale, extend, exhale, crunch, trying to get into the side of our abs, our obliques, and you'll see a pattern. We will target that muscle group again and again. Crunch. This time, hold, really pushing the left knee forward, flexing through our spine, feeling it in our core, and then go back to your balancing table. Pause here for a second. Really reaching forward with the right fingers and the left toes, lifting up through the belly, not dumping the weight in the left shoulder. And then lower the hand down, lower the knee down. Let's shake the hips side to side. All right, let's go on the other side. We curl the toes under again. This time, shift the weight into the left hip, right leg extends. We point through the toe and we close the hip down. Add the opposite arm. You can always choose to stay here. Inhale, exhale, crunch. If you want to take this option. Inhale, extend again. Exhale, try to bring that right knee high up towards the right tricep to add to the challenge. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, and we want to keep the neck neutral. As you can see, my gaze is on the mat. I'm not looking forward. Don't want to put unnecessary pressure in the neck. Pause here. So I'm crunching through my left side, my right knee is digging into my right tricep. It may or may not touch. And then back to your balancing table. One more breath. Lower the hand, lower the knee. Shake the hips side to side again. All right. Let's go into a plank pose. So I like to give my shoulders a lot of space so my hands are as wide as the mat. Spread the fingers nice and wide and bring your feet hip width apart here. Micro bend in those elbows and then puff up your back. Find that protraction in your shoulders, space between your shoulder blades. Lifting up through the kneecaps, engaging the legs. My heels are above my toe mounts, flexing through my spine. Let's shorten the stance a little. So I bring my toes forward towards my wrist a bit here. Inhale here, exhale. Our hips to heels will get into our quads a little. Inhale, round the spine again. Come into your plank. Then exhale back. Inhale forward. Exhale back. One more. And exhale back. Pause here. Externally rotate the shoulders. So we are not crunching the shoulders up. They move away from the ears. You can even look forward. You should begin to feel this in your quads. Hang in there, guys. 2 more breaths. And then begin to walk your hands back towards your feet. We'll heel to the feet wider than our hips, coming into a squat. Hands in front of our heart. And then you should be able to see your toes. I really can't see my toes in my flares, but you get the idea. Knees are behind our toes. One more breath and release. Shake out. your legs a little, just your clothing. Alright. So we'll do something called squat to a hover table. I'll show you two options. You go into a squat, you walk out into a hover table, which means your knees don't touch the mat. You are in a table but knees are off the mat. And as you can see, I'm puffing up my back, I'm engaging my core here. From here, I walk my hands back, I land into a squat, I come to stand. The other variation is you squat down, you gauge where your hands can land for a hover table. Right here, no strain in our shoulders and our wrist, and you come back into a squat and stand. So whatever variation works for you, go ahead. Squat, walk out or hop. Make sure your back is nicely flexed so that we feel it in our core. You'll feel it in your quads, good amount. Couple of more. This time, let's just go back to our squat, little seesaw here. Squat to hover table, I really feel it in my quads. Squat to hover table. Last one. Squat to hover table. Pause. One more breath. Then walk the hands back towards your feet. Squat again. And then come to stand. Shake it out. Let's come to the top of the mat. I have my pair of blocks here, so in case you use blocks or any other props in your practice, it's always good to have them. All right, we'll come hip width apart at the top of our mat, hands on our hips. We'll shift the weight into our left leg. Right leg lifts up into our stalk pose or one-legged Tadasana. Make sure hips are nice and even and we are not leaning into one side. If you feel comfortable with balance, you can bring your hands in front of your heart over your head. From here, take a twist. Again, these are all options. Left hand forward, right hand back. Nice twist here. Left hip is drawing back to keep the hip square. Only the thoracic spine is turning here. Come back to your stalk. Hands on our hips. You're going to lean forward and take a big step back for a lunge. Wherever the right foot lands, let it land, and then make sure feet come parallel here, parallel railroad tracks. As you could notice, I heel-toed my left foot to the left side. I stack my left knee over the ankle, and I decide how deep, or you decide rather, how deep you want to bend. You can stay high, you can sit low. To deepen your lunge, you can keep sliding those right toes back to create lots of length here. Hips are nice and square, which means my left hip is drawing back, right hip is forward, both hip points facing forward, hands come up. From here, we're going to lean forward, we're going to load our left glute. Arms are reaching forward. Inhale here, exhale, cactus out the arms. So the palms and elbows are pressing away from the ground. Inhale, palms face each other. Exhale, palms face the ground as I cactus out. Two more. Inhale, exhale. One more. Inhale here and exhale, cactus out. Pause here, squeezing the shoulder blades, and the weight is in the front heel, not the toes. One more breath. Right hand comes inside the left foot, left arm goes up, we revolve. You can always lower the right knee down here or stay with the challenge. Gaze can move up again if the neck feels okay. I usually like to look to the side or down. One more breath. Left hand comes outside the left foot. Let's bring the right foot forward a little. Spread the fingers nice and wide and begin to press up round your upper back like we do it in our plank. We create space here and then reverse knee to nose. shoulders away from the ears, trying to bring that nose and knee towards each other. And then step back into plank. We'll take a twisted plank here. So upper body stays how it is. However, I'm going to turn my toes towards the right side of the mat. I stack my feet. I can always stagger. So the lower body is resisting twisting. And that's where you feel it in your left obliques. You can probably tell by my voice. There's a little shake happening here. Make sure you don't lock out your elbows. One more breath. Come back center. And then lower the knees down. Let's come into our Vajrasana. Shake out the wrist a little. Roll it out. Let's come to the top of the mat to do the other side. We'll shift the weight into our right leg this time. Left leg lifts up, one-legged dog. There's a tendency to lean back as soon as we lift one foot off the mat. So make sure we are not leaning back here. You want to keep the core nice and firm. A slight flexion in the belly is good too. Again, option to bring the hands in front of your heart, over your head. Inhale here, exhale, twist. You know where we're going. Hips are square, right hip draws back. One more breath. Steady gaze. Come back center. Bring your hands to your hips. Take a big step back with your left foot this time. Right foot forward, left foot back. Parallel railroad tracks. Both hip points facing forward. I find my lunge here. Again, we don't want too much of an arch in the low spine. So make sure there's a slight tuck happening here. Draw the right hip back so the weight comes in the front heel and not goes in the toes. Arms reach up. We lean forward again into our leaning lunge. Inhale here, same thing. Exhale, we cactus out the arms, loading the right glute this time. Inhale, forward. Exhale. Two more. Inhale, palms face each other. Exhale. Last one. Inhale and exhale. Pausing here, maybe we sink a little lower. At this point, if this is too hard on the right leg, you can always place your hands on the mat or on a pair of blocks. And then left hand comes down. Make sure right knee hugs in. It likes to splay to the side as we revolve here. Keep lifting from the left hip. Again, we avoid locking out our joints. So left elbow is soft and even the right elbow is soft. Once you bend this right elbow a little, you'll feel a deeper stretch in your right front of the shoulder, your pecs. Bring the right hand down. I hop that left foot in a little, shorten that stance to prepare myself for a reverse knee to elbow. Protract those shoulders and lift the left foot off. Reverse knee to elbow. One more breath. To plank and then to side plank. This time the toes are going to face the left side. Upper body is nice and square. We're resisting twisting the right hip this way. So I'm trying to lift that right hip up. And the more I do that action, the more I feel it in my obliques. Very important muscle. It helps us rotate our spine, stabilizes it. One more breath. Back to your plank. And then we lower the knees down. Let's give those wrists a little shake again. Bring the hands by your side, palms facing up, fingers pointing back. Let's get that stretch going in our forearms, our wrist flexors. And if this doesn't give you too much of a stretch, you can always walk the hands out. You don't want to go out too far where you bend, where you end up bending the elbows. Stay to a point where the hands can stay fairly straight. One more breath. And shake it out. All right. We will come into plank again. Just for a bit, I promise. and then bring the right foot outside the right palm here. Bring the left foot to the left edge of the mat. We are getting ready for our lizard lunge. We'll stay pretty active here. So if you feel tired, you can always lower the back knee down. Otherwise, stay with me high up. We'll do something called lizard push-ups. So elbows are gonna point back as I bend my elbows, bring my chest close to the ground. Depending on how open we are, and our hips will be able to go down. And exhale up. Down, exhale up. Couple of more. Exhale up. Down, here hold. And then see if one hand, right hand can come off the mat. If it does, hug that right shoulder and right inner leg towards each other, and then see if we can lift the left foot off the mat too. Our lizard here, a little tricky. One more breath. Lower the hands down, bring that left foot to the center of the mat. We round our spine again. This time we do reverse knee to elbow, or knee to tricep, right knee towards right tricep. Either they are glued or we are trying to bring that right knee towards the right tricep. One more breath. Back to our plank. And then we'll go on the other side. Left foot outside the left hand. Right foot goes to the right edge of the mat. Big long lunge. Same concept here. Left knee stacks over the left ankle, like in our lunge. Oh, we have to do, I was ready to go for our lizard. We have push-ups first. So we bend the elbows. Exhale up. 3 more. Sinking those hips down towards the ground. Opening those hips, and then we try a hand at the hover lizard. Hands off the mat, one hand off the mat. You can balance on your fingers. Try to really push the weight of the upper body close to the ground. One more breath. Hands plant on the mat. Right foot comes to the center of the mat and forward, and then reverse knee to tricep here. One more breath. Plank. Then let's go into our forearm plank. Elbows under our shoulders. I tuck my tailbone, protracting the shoulders. We just hold here. Keep the neck nice and long. Just breathe. Suck that belly in. But do not hold your breath. 2 more breaths. 1 more. And then lower the knees down. Let's take our child pose, the only one of our short practice. Big toes touch, knees widen, hips towards the heels. They may or may not touch. And then begin to walk your hands out. I like to keep my hands nice and wide. Forehead plants down. Let everything melt towards the ground here. If you notice that your hips are pretty far away from your heels, you might benefit from putting a block under your forehead. Let's thread the needle here. Lift the forehead briefly and bring the right arm under the left. Forehead can face down, or you can turn the head towards the left shoulder. Close down the eyes if you haven't done so already. We're almost done here. Another breath. Other side. Right hand forward, left arm comes under. Knowing that one side is usually a little different than the other, so you don't have to necessarily do the same options on both sides. Do what feels good. That's why they're called options. Another breath. Slowly lift the head, release the hand, walk the hands back towards you, shift the weight onto one side, bring the legs out in front of you. If you are not in the middle of the mat, go ahead and arrive there. And then we'll go down slowly by flexing the spine. We'll engage the core a little and take our Ardha half boat. So hands come out in front of you. They can always come behind your thighs. And then flexing the spine slowly, one vertebra at a time. We'll lower the back down, extend the legs. Now the knees can be bent quite a lot here. You can always place the hand behind the head to support. Keep pushing that low back into the earth. Two more breaths. Another one. And then bend the knees, lower the head down. I like to slide a blanket under my head. Just feels good. Hug the knees towards the chest. Hands can be behind the knees or on your shins, whatever feels good. Bring the knees nice and wide. Then you can choose to rock side to side here. It's pretty good. Make sure chin is tucked and we are not lifting the chin up. Back center. Lower the feet down. Let's finish it off with a twist. So extend the left leg long, scoop the hips over to the right side, and then bring the right hip on top of left. Right arm can be in a cactus, in a T. Now, if by crossing this right leg over, your right shoulder blade is coming off a lot from the mat, you want to back off from the stretch a little. So roll back towards the mat a little to ground that right shoulder blade down. And let's just breathe here. Another breath. Other side, come on your back. Readjust your hips, left knee bends, right extends, and we'll take the same stretch on the other side. Stacking the left hip on top of right. Again, we cactus out the left arm or we T out the arm. Option to turn the head towards the left shoulder if it feels okay. Take another couple of breaths here. And then slowly come on your backs again, bend both knees. This time knees together, wrap your hands around your shins and give them a nice squeeze. Lift the head if it feels okay, bring your nose towards the knees. I always like to give myself a hug at the end of the practice for our final pose. Inhale here. On the exhale, slowly lower the head down. Bring the hands by your side, palms facing up or down. Extend the legs as wide as the mat. Allow the ankles to splay open. Into your Shavasana. Taking a moment to let go of any tension. Allowing the breath to be shallow, the body to soften here. As always, feel free to stay here for as long as you like. Until next time, namaste.